Foreign criminals are to be deported rather than prosecuted as part of a radical new plan by the Justice Secretary. Alex Chalk says that low-level foreign offenders should be spared prison in order to free up spaces in jail. It comes as a record number of migrants crossed the Channel yesterday. 290 people were detected, making it the highest number on a single day for more than a month. To discuss this is the leader of the Social Democrat Party, William Clouston. William, what do you make of Alex Chalk's plan to free up prison spaces? Because, I mean, my first thought was, well, the one thing we don't do is lock people up.
Yeah, I mean, my first reaction to this is there must be a general election looming. Because the first thing is, Mike, would any sane person believe that this is actually likely to happen?
Yeah.
You know, we have, over 10,000 foreign criminals on the prison estate. And at first sight, this seems like quite a good idea because you've got about 3,000 on remand. Some of those people are charged with relatively low-level offences. But the detail that we should be concerned with is that any attempt to organise a comprehensive deportation programme will be subject to appeal. And, of course, all of the normal grounds for appeal, family life, human rights, the idea that you're being trafficked, will all apply. So I think it's unlikely that these 3,000 people will be deported.
Well, this is the thing, and they talk about low-level criminals. I'm not quite sure what they mean by that. But, you know, the guy who was the chemical attacker who ended up in the River Thames, he was not sent to jail for sexual crime, even though one of his crimes was a sexual assault and another one was a fairly serious offence as well. He was not sent to prison. And one of the reasons he wasn't deported is that we only deport people who actually have done more than a year in prison. So if you're not deporting them already because they haven't gone to prison, how are we going to deport these ones?
Yeah, but in that case, actually, even if he had committed a crime that had a higher tariff than that, he's unlikely to have been deported back to Afghanistan because there would have been a whole series of claims about the safety of that state. So we're in a real mess. You know, the country's getting it from both ends, really. You've got over 12,000 foreign criminals just roaming the streets, awaiting deportation. A lot of those people have just left the system. The authorities have no idea where they are. The deportation rate has plummeted in the last few years. You know, we used to deport something like 15,000. Now it's down to about 5,000 a year. So yet another arm of the state is in chaos, and the poor old public are looking at this shambles and having to listen to a Tory spokesman coming up with a new scheme, which I have to say, all experience would tell you is just another publicity stunt.
Yeah, exactly right. And it looks as though there's now more than 10% of the prison population which is taken up with foreign national criminals, as it were, many of whom are Albanian. We're supposed to have a deal with Albania. Why aren't we just deporting them?
It's curious, isn't it, Mike? Yes, I looked at the stats on that, and I gather something like 13% of the entire foreign criminal prison population is Albania. Yeah. You've got to ask yourself what is happening. You know, we talked to the state of Albania, and we have deported one or two people, but it's a staggering figure. That absolutely staggering figure. Yeah, they've lost control. I mean, this government don't have any control, and I have to say, you know, if Labour get in, I can't see it being any better. All of their instincts, Labour's instincts on this type of thing, are actually worse than the Tories. I mean, I'll bring a case up which people need to be aware of. You remember there was a case of a deportation flight to Jamaica a few years ago, and a load of celebrities and Labour politicians and Lib Dems objected to it, and the flight didn't go. One of those people that objected was a certain Keir Starmer. Yes. He objected. One of those people that didn't get deported ended up murdering someone.
Yeah. Well, Keir Starmer's a great one for dragging people off planes when they're leaving the country, as opposed to dragging them off planes when they're arriving, which is sort of what the Home Office and the Border Force should be doing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, their instincts are wrong. I'm sad to say I think it'll get worse. I can't see a Labour government, if they win the election, they're likely to win it, are going to be better on this, probably worse. And as I say, the poor old country's getting it from both ends, because we see now that illegal arrivals on the south coast has topped 2,000 already. So they haven't got a lid on that. There seems to be no prospect of them doing so, because even the government's approach is a complete shambles, and it can't act as a deterrent So I'm afraid either of these parties, Labour or Conservative, are going to be utterly useless on any of these matters, I'm afraid.
Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely right. William, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. William Clouston there with his take on what is not probably going to happen, which is much easier to say than what is going to happen.